Joining us today is House Senior Deputy Minority Leader and Caloocan 2nd District Representative Edgar Erice to discuss the complaint and its implications. Good afternoon, Congressman, and thank you for joining us in the program.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Sir, pinanood ko yung inyong press briefing right before this interview, no? And you mentioned there na dead on arrival itong impeachment complaint laban kay President Bongbong Marcos. Can you elaborate on that, sir?
Well, I think hindi na-prepare na mabuti. Wala namang mga evidences, general statements, yung mga binigay na mga pahayag at ang naging batayan ay mga news articles. So, it would require a lot of research and documentation and evidences before you can even think of filing an impeachment complaint. So, wala ito lahat.
Siguro, sir, for the benefit of our... So, sir, for the benefit ng ating mga nanonood, no, isa-isahin po natin itong mga grounds na inilatag doon sa impeachment complaint. No? And let me know what you think about these and how you ended up.
Yes, I have a copy of I have a copy of the grounds. I have a copy of the grounds. One is culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayal of public trust in connection with the kidnapping and surrender of former President Rodrigo Duterte. I don't think that wala namang there are only 15 pages. Wala siyang na-present na evidence linking the president to the alleged kidnapping. So mahirap 'yun, mahirap talaga 'yun. Kailangan niya ng ebidensya. Kaya wala to, hindi ko tatayo yung na to, yung allegation na to. Second is graft and corruption allegations involved in systematic plunder of national budget through unprogrammed appropriations and ghost flood control projects. Specifically cited is the claim of 100 million insertion by Saldico. Wala naman si Saldi dito. Paano siya makakapag-affidavit? So wala rin ito. Unfitness for office, yung complaint regarding his drug addiction. We will not compel the president to go on a hair follicle test or any other test that would siyempre siya ang dapat na magbigay ng sa kanya yung burden of proof. And I don't think that he can use the testimony, the speech of the president's sister. So wala rin ito. Abuse of power. The complaint alleges the creation of an independent commission for infrastructure was a weaponized move to shield political allies and target enemies. This is a mere speculation. Wala naman din evidence na may proof. So wala rin ito. At I don't think that this is an impeachable offense. Ang isa pa, yung failure to exercise veto power. The president is accused of grossly inexcusable gross negligence for failing to veto unconstitutional provisions in the General Appropriations Act of 2023, 2024, and 2025, and 2026. Alam mo, ito merong may valid points, pero hindi ito yung sa unprogrammed funds lang, pati yung nasa program funds. Yung program funds kasi inilagay sa unprogrammed. Tapos pinalitan ng mga anomalous projects. So, tingin ko may punto ito, pero it would require a lot of documents, a lot of figures. And ako, gumagawa ako ng mga pinag-aaralan ko yung unprogrammed funds, pinag-aaralan ko yung program funds, paano nagkaroon ng diversion. 50 pages hindi mo ma-explain kung paano yung nangyari sa tatlong budget na ito. Ito, 15 pages, lahat na So, I don't think that ang naging basis niya lang dito yung mga news articles. So, wala ito, basura ito. So, madali itong ma-dismiss.
Sir, let me ask this question, because if you look at we're fully aware of the political landscape in the country today, may mga supporters din, at may mga diskurso na nangyayari, whether it's online or in person. And if you look at the discourse dito sa mga political factions natin, especially among supporters, you would notice na there are questions about anong pinagkaiba nitong impeachment case laban kay President Marcos at yung impeachment case before laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Itong kay President Marcos, they are saying na basura ito, dead on arrival, yet yung kay Vice President Sara Duterte, talagang nag-garner pa ng signatures among lawmakers. So they are saying that this is just a matter of politics and not accountability. What do you have to say
This is a
about
political process. Actually, impeachment is a political process. Ang pinagkaiba lang, because of the recent Supreme Court decision, hindi na pwede kagad na pumirma lang, i-elevate na sa Senate. Kailangan magkaroon ng hearing sa Committee on Justice to discuss yung mga allegations at mabigyan din ng due process yung accused. So, pwede magpaliwanag doon at sagutin yung mga accusations sa kanya. So mahalaga din na yung makarating man ito o hindi sa Senado, yung mga accusation yan, yung mga complaint na yan against the President, the Vice President, ang mahalaga, nagkaroon ng forum na madidiscuss ito at malalaman ng publiko kung ano talaga yung kung sa palagay nila ay ito ay kampi-kampihan lang, kung ito ay dahil lang sa politika, o talagang may katotohanan yung mga allegations.
That's a very interesting point of discussion, Congressman, no? Yung kampihan lamang dahil sa politika. Because siguro hindi rin natin masisi, no? Yung ating mga kababayan na who might be thinking na this is just a matter of, this is a numbers game. Parang kumbaga, kapag kay President Marcos, dead on arrival, kay Vice President Sara Duterte, ito ay accountability and those conversations, no? So Kong, how do we communicate dito sa ating publiko na what the House is doing is this is just for the sake of accountability and not a numbers game. Impeachment has not become just a numbers game.
It's supposed to be for accountability, pero ang nangyayari, hindi lang naman ngayon, mga nakaraan, talagang it's a political game. And ito yung sign na talagang meron tayong malaking problema sa political system natin. Nakita mo naman na magtatakbo sa iba't ibang partido, pero pagka nandiyan na lahat, baliktad na lahat, babalimbing na dahil napakamahina ng ating political party system. At ang primary, hindi na pinag-uusapan yung prinsipyo ngayon, pinag-uusapan kung ano yung madadala mo sa distrito mo. Yan yung nangyayari sa House of Representatives. Kaya kung sino yung presidente, lahat ng kahit saan man tumakbong partido yan, lahat yan magiging kakawalis ng presidente. Kaya nagkakaroon ng supermajority. Supermajority, mas madali na makulusot yung corruption dahil nababawasan yung check and balance. Isa pa na ang maling sistema yung biruin mo, presidente, senador, congressman, mayor, governor, nagkakamag-anak lahat, so nagtatakipan.
I understand, Congressman, that you are part of the minority bloc, but as a lawmaker and kayo mismo, no, you recognize that there is a problem in our political system. How do we fix this, Kong?
Well, kaya I've been filing an anti-political dynasty bill. This is my fifth term. Ito na yung pinakalimang pinagtsatsagaan ko kahit na talagang mahirap makalusot dahil 80% yata ng Kongreso belongs to political dynasties. Yung aking advocacy against turncoatism. Pero ngayon, tingin ko, because the President, tingnan natin yung sincerity ng President. Meron siyang mga sinasabi niya. Gusto niya ipasa yung anti-political dynasty law. Gusto niya ipasa yung tungkol sa party list system reform. Gusto niya magkaroon ng independent commission, People's Commission, para imbestigahan itong anomaly on the national budget and flood control. Dito makasusubukan kung sincere ang ating Pangulo o gusto niya lang i-appease yung nagagalit na taong bayan.
Kung quickly lang, no, balikan ko lamang yung doon sa gross negligence na grounds for impeachment, no? Because an argument can be made that, number one, of course, you mentioned this, the failure of the President to veto at same time, if you think about it, it is the president who approved the budget. So what exactly are you
Yes.
looking for during the
Yes, that's why
hearing?
I've been repeatedly urging the president to answer a question. Bakit niya pinayagan? Noong 2023, mahigit 300 bilyon yung proposal niya sa National Expenditures Program ang binago ng Kongreso.
Mhm.
At inalis yung mga priority project niya, pinalitan ng mga kalukuhang proyekto. Pumayag siya, pinirmahan niya eh. Noong 2024, ganun din. 500 plus billion, inalis yung mga mahalagang proyekto gaya ng mga foreign assisted, yung Metro Subway, yung PNR Elevated Railway. Inilipat sa unprogram funds yan at pinalitan ng mga kalokohang proyekto na nagbunga ng pagnanakaw ng bilyon-bilyon sa kaban ng bayan at nagbunga na ma-delay yung mga mahalagang proyekto gaya ng subway from 2028 target date of completion magiging 2032, yung PNR Elevated Railway from 2029 to 2032 will incur an additional expense because of penalties, commitment fees, and escalation of prices, both materials and labor. It will incur at least 20% or about from yung dalawang project na ito, mga 1.4 trillion to. So, magbabayad ng additional si Juan de la Cruz na mga 300 bilyon dahil pumayag siya na palitan ng mga kalokohang project yung mga priority projects niya. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Yan yung unang dapat na sagutin ng ating Pangulo. At narinig natin, pati mga sa Senate Committee hearing, pati mga kabinete ay involved. May kanya-kanyang allocables, naging parte na nitong flood control program mess na ito.
Congressman Erice, you mentioned kanina na itong impeachment complaint na ito ay basura. Some may even argue na hilaw itong impeachment complaint na ito. There are also questions about the motive behind the filing of this impeachment complaint because just for context and for the information of our viewers, ang nag-file nito ay si Attorney Andre De Jesus who also filed the disbarment case against Attorney Glenn Chong who dared First Lady Liza Marcos to face him so he could slap her. So may ganong nuance, kumbaga, at layer itong issue na ito. Sir, do you think hilaw? Yun munang tanong ko siguro. Hilaw ba itong impeachment case na ito? At kung yun man ang kaso...
Hilaw na hilaw at hindi pinag-aralan at hindi nag-effort na kumuha ng mga ebidensya.
So bakit? Bakit
at
final ito? Because...
sinasabi ni Attorney De Jesus, hindi naman daw siya abogado ni First Lady. Kaya lang, nabasa niya raw na binastos ni Attorney Glenn Chong si First Lady. Kaya sinampahan niya ng disbarment case si Attorney Glenn Chong. Out of nowhere, nabasa niya lang, sinampahan niya na. Ganito rin dito, nabasa niya si mga dyaryo, yung mga social media, kaya sinampahan niya naman yung asawa ni First Lady na impeachment complaint. So, ang mangyayari dyan, ganito, kailangan magmadali. Kung meron mang nais na magsampa ng kaso laban kay Pangulong Marcos, kailangan magmadali within the week. Pagka hindi, at ito, you will run out of time kasi once na itong complaint na ito ay ma-refer sa Committee on Justice, considered na submitted na, ay wala nang ibang impeachment complaint ang pwedeng maisampa sa Pangulo for 1 year.
At yun nga, if we're saying na hilaw itong impeachment complaint na ito, there is high likelihood na mababasura itong impeachment case na ito. So kaya nga may questions about...
I'm sure, 100% mababasura. 100% mababasura. No chance.
Yun nga po, doon lumalabas kung yung mga questions about the timing, about the filing of this, na parang ito ba ay ipinasa kahit hilaw para lamang wala nang ma-file na impeachment case against President Marcos in the next at least 1 year. So, and doon naman papasok sa picture yung Makabayan Bloc, who has already expressed their intent to file another impeachment complaint against President Marcos. Nakausap niyo na po ba sila? At ano po yung sunod nilang move?
Well, kausap ko si Congressman Tino. Sabi nila they will file within the week. So, tignan natin kung anong magiging aksyon ng House leadership, kung paano nila kung nakapag-file, for example, Friday or Thursday, dapat siguro sabay-sabay na nilang i-refer ito kung ganon, magiging harmless yung na-file ni Attorney De Jesus dahil mako-consider yung other complaints kung maipa-file hanggang week na to. Pero after this week, I don't think na may chance pa yung iba.
So, for you, Kong, personally, do you find it suspicious the timing of the filing of this impeachment complaint? Because even si Congressman Pulong Duterte is questioning, who one can argue is on the other side of the political spectrum.
Makikita natin yan. Sa ngayon, ang damage dun sa mga gusto mag-file, kailangan nila magmadali. Hindi naman madaling gumawa ng isang impeachment complaint. Yun ang damage. Pero kung hindi sila umabot dun sa referral sa Committee on Justice, talagang hindi na makakapag-complaint yung ibang may intensyon. At kung magsasubmit sila Thursday or Friday, kung hihintayin ba ito ng speaker at ng leadership para sabay-sabay matalakay ito sa Committee on Justice. Yan yung aabangan natin in the next few days.
How much weight does that question or does that motive have in you, Congressman? Yung questionable
makikita
motive.
Natin na ginawa ito, makikita natin na ito ay ginawa upang hadlangan lang yung iba. Kahit nag-file lang na walang batayan upang mahadlangan yung iba. Sa palagay ko, bilang isang member of the bar, may pananagutan din si Attorney De Jesus.
Huling tanong na lamang, Congressman. Nakausap niyo na po ba si Congressman Jet who endorsed itong impeachment complaint laban kay President Marcos?
Hindi pa po.
Meron po ba kayong prior communication before this? May heads up ba na nangyari na...
Wala po. I was completely surprised. I was completely surprised with the endorsement of Kong Nisay.
Following the endorsement, wala rin, sir?
Wala.
Okay po, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, Congressman Edgar Erice.
Salamat, Neil. Salamat.